diving deep into power, strategy, the art of not showing your hand.
We're breaking down one of the most fascinating, maybe even a little unnerving, laws from Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power.
Law 3. Conceal your intentions. But before you think we're plotting world domination from some shadowy room, let's be clear. This isn't about being ruthless. It's about recognizing these tactics in history, in everyday life.
Exactly. Greene's book is a deep dive into how powerful figures throughout history, well, they use these strategies. Conceal your intentions. It keeps popping up. The idea is keeping people guessing. That's the path to getting what you want.
So playing it close to the chest, but wouldn't that be, the better way?
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing about us humans. We're drawn to the unknown. It's like irresistible. When you can't figure someone out, they're intriguing. And we end up trusting them maybe more than we should.
Interesting. So it's not just hiding what you're thinking, it's using that mystery to your advantage.
Exactly. The less someone knows your motive, the more they fill in the blanks themselves. Like a magician, you're focused on the obvious, you miss the real trick. And that's where it gets good.
Okay, now I'm hooked. Examples. Who are these masters of disguise? What can we learn from them? Especially in a world where, well, not everyone plays fair.
Let's start 17th century France. Ninon de l'Enclos. She used this not just in the halls of power, but in seduction too. Playing hard to get, she was the master.
A French courtesan, intrigue, maybe a love triangle. I am here for it. Tell me everything. Ninon de l'Enclos, a master strategist of the heart. Okay, I'm ready for my lesson. Who is she trying to, set her sights on?
She took this young marquis under her wing, completely clueless when it came to women, or strategy for that matter. He was smitten with this countess, but she was known for her intelligence, her wit, not easily won over.
A challenge, the perfect student then for these teaching.
Exactly. Ninon, she knew the direct approach, not going to work. This countess, she wouldn't be swayed by, grand gestures. So Ninon, she tells the marquis, you need to try strategic inconsistency.
Strategic inconsistency. Okay, now I'm really interested. What is that?
So, one day, the marquis is showering the countess with attention, witty conversation, making her feel like the only woman there. Then, the next day, gone, aloof, disinterested even.
So treat him mean, keep him keen, but next level.
Exactly. It's psychology, you see. Scarcity. The less of something there is, the more we want it. This countess, used to being pursued, she was thrown completely off balance.
It's like suddenly you're not sure you have their attention anymore and you have to get it back.
Exactly. And this is where concealing your intentions, it really gets brilliant. The marquis, he seems unsure of his feelings, and suddenly he's the prize. He flipped the whole power dynamic.
Wow. Okay, 17th century love affairs, they're more complicated than I thought. Makes you think though, right? That coworker everyone wants to figure out, or even limited time offers, it's all about that scarcity.
You got it.
Yeah.
Conceal your intentions. It's timeless. It's everywhere. But let's move from matters of the heart to, international politics. Otto von Bismarck.
Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor, he definitely knew about power. What's the story?
Bismarck, he's the perfect example of someone using this on a grand scale.
Yeah.
He wanted to unify Germany, which at the time seemed impossible.
Unifying Germany, that was a big deal, right? I mean, weren't they all separate kingdoms or something?
They were, and for a long time, uniting them, it just seemed like a fantasy. But Bismarck, he had this vision. He knew he needed patience. He needed to be cunning. He needed to be a master at shaping how people saw him.
So how do you conceal your intentions for that? I mean, you can't just walk into a room full of kings and declare yourself in charge.
You'd think not. But Bismarck, he had a much more subtle plan. 1850, tensions are high between Prussia and Austria. Everyone, even in Prussia, they're saying, declare war, take control.
So classic power grab. Bismarck, with his ambition, he was all for that.
And that's what makes this next part so good. Instead of, joining the war hawks, Bismarck, he stands up in Parliament, gives this impassioned speech.
Against the war.
He was against it. Bismarck, that doesn't sound like him. What was he doing?
Long game, remember? Prussia's army. They weren't ready to fight Austria. It would have been a disaster, a total defeat.
So he played peacemaker. But why?
Trust. By opposing the war, even praising Austria, he got two things. The Prussian king, who knew they couldn't win, he trusts Bismarck now. And Austria, they think he's weak. Underestimate him completely. Kept them off his trail.
Yeah.
Clever. But how does that lead to, uniting all of Germany?
Because now he has the king's ear. He becomes prime minister, he modernizes the army, builds alliances, gets them ready for when they do fight Austria.
And Austria, they had no idea.
They underestimated his willingness to, play that long game. When the war did come in 66, Prussia, they were ready.
Yeah.
Crushed them.
So because he played his cards close to the chest, waited for the right time, he got what he wanted. It's kind of amazing what you can accomplish if you keep your true goals hidden.
It really is. Sometimes the most direct path, it's not always the obvious one. Sometimes it's the path of mystery, of calculated ambiguity that gets you those amazing victories.
Speaking of mystery, you mentioned a con man earlier, the yellow kid. He must have been the master of conceal your intentions. Talk about concealed intentions, right? I'm ready for it. Who was this yellow kid and how did he pull it off?
Oh, Yellow Kid Wow. This guy, he was an artist. He knew to really run a con, you need a good distraction. A smoke screen hides what's really going on.
Smoke screens, distractions. Okay, this I gotta hear. Who'd he target?
This businessman, Sam Giesel, loved a good deal, the thrill of it all. And Weil, he knew how to play that.
So how'd he set the trap? What was the bait?
Offered Diesel this incredible deal, a luxury hunting lodge, practically giving it away.
A hunting lodge. For a steal, Kiesel must have been all over that.
Well, he wove this whole story. Giesel's meeting his uncle, this disgruntled employee, wants revenge on his millionaire bosses, so he's selling the lodge cheap, even brings in a boxer, supposed to be his protege, makes it all seem real.
A disgruntled employee? A boxer? Sounds like a movie.
That was the beauty of it. It was also theatrical. Giesel thought he was in on this big secret, sticking it to the rich guys. Part of the smokescreen, you see.
So while Giesel's busy feeling clever, Yellow Kid's setting up the real con.
Exactly. See, the lodge, it was never the point. It was just to get Giesel comfortable betting money. Well, knew, once money's involved, people don't think straight, especially when they think they're going to win.
And Giesel, caught up in it all, he falls for it.
Hook, line, and sinker. Well, he sets up this high-stakes boxing match. His protege is fighting. Then, get this, the boxer pretends to die in the ring.
Oh man, I bet that caused a scene.
Total chaos. Everyone's panicking, Giesel's swept up in it, and by the time it's over, he's out $35,000. Just another day for the yellow kid.
That's wild. It's scary how easily, even smart people, they can get tricked when someone knows how to, warp your reality.
That's conceal your intentions for you. Not always about being loud, being obvious. It's the subtle stuff, making someone think they're in control when really you're calling the shots.
Okay, you've convinced me this is important stuff to know. But is it always a bad thing, hiding your intentions?
Good point. Sometimes being more open can work, but only when you've already got that reputation.
Right, like if everyone thinks you're going to be tricky, maybe the trick is to just be upfront.
Exactly. Look at P.T. Barnum. The guy was all about spectacle, exaggeration. He made deception entertaining. People loved it. His honesty, in a way, it threw everyone off.
Wow. So with this law, it's all about knowing when to hold back, when to reveal, when to put on a bit of a show.
It is. It's a game. Strategy, perception, psychology. You need to understand people, what they want, and then, sometimes you hold back. Sometimes you lay it all out there.
Well said. I think our listeners, they've gotten a glimpse into this hidden world now. We've gone from French salons to Prussian power struggles, even a good old-fashioned con. Any final thoughts for them?
Whether you're asking for a raise, dealing with a tough relationship, even just reading the news. Remember, not everyone's playing by the same rules. Pay attention, trust your gut and knowledge, knowing these laws of power. That's your best defense.
Could have said it better myself. We'll leave everyone with that. Stay curious, and until next time, stay sharp.